that's how these things happen. And this has been demonstrated to be true time and time and time again. For over a decade, the police have continued to kill more and more people every year. And in 2024, killed 1,206 people, more than any other year on record. Shame. In the 5 years since the Bolton they have spent hundreds of millions of dollars building scores of domestic military bases or top cities or police training centers, depending on who you ask, all over the country. This is not so far a problem. In Jefferson Township, Michigan, southwest of Kalamazoo, a 102-acre facility has recently been constructed that includes a sniper tower, explosive ranges, and training areas so they can better learn to break into homes. Meanwhile, the 1033 program funnels billions in military-grade weaponry, including armored vehicles, helicopters, high-capacity assault rifles, and more, into the hands of local police departments. And so, now I ask, do these appear to be the maneuvers of an institution that seeks to keep us safe? No! And if the answer is no, which it should be, then the question that follows is, what is to be done? We have an answer to that. It is community control of the police. The community decides how public safety is achieved, which officers are hired and fired, who they're sending into our communities, and with what types of equipment and training. Yes. Is this such an irrational demand? No! And let us also be clear that we are making this demand as a part of a larger effort to build dual power. That is, the organization of our communities to provide the things that our government is increasingly unwilling to provide. Safer streets, better education, housing, healthy food, stable income, all the things we need to survive and to thrive. And so, whatever happens in this courthouse tomorrow, I hope that one thing is clear. We must be organized. Whether you individually see the eventual outcome of this trial as sufficient, understand that the state has already failed Patrick, his family, and his community. And unless we want to keep doing this over and over and over again, we must organize ourselves to be able to defend ourselves, provide for ourselves, and to show the state that they have no choice but to respect the lives of our people and to concede to our demands. And so, with that being said, please join an organization with a political education component that is working to build power in our communities. You've heard from the folks here. We have representatives from the Alliance and other organizations organizing around different issues, working to build power in our community, looking for new efforts, find them, join them, and organize. I will close by reminding you all of the words of Patrick's father, Peter, who shortly after the police executed his son said the following: Sikuwa na joa kama katika jiji, kama koko genocide. I did not know that in this country there is a genocide. Remember this. Understand the reality of our situation. Know that fascism is already here. And do not just wait patiently for the people in there to grow a conscience, for I fear you will be waiting for a very long time. Asante sana. Thank
you. Our next speaker did a lot of important work around Patrick Lyoya in the wake of his death. I'd like to invite Kai up to talk about some of the repression and the movement being built around Patrick. Kai is from ACAT. Right?
focused on abolishing the system as a whole. So no prisons, no police, everyone deserves food, everyone deserves housing, everyone deserves basic necessities. We've been in the streets fighting as a comrade collective, breaking off into different infinity groups like ACAB, Captain Care Collective, and everything like that. We've been here since day one. I've also faced felonies since day one. I've seen more time in court than Christopher Scher has around his actions, right? I see all these faces out here, and it makes me think of a conversation that was held on social media by one of the organizers here in Grand Rapids that kind of co-opted the space without getting to know grassroots organizers. And I'm wanting y'all to know that I need y'all to start, especially white folks, with the work to be within yourself and within your community. You guys are so often immediately so fucking ready to come here and co-opt these spaces where black and brown people hold the space, and you want to come and you want to co-opt it, and you want to be performative, and you want to put yourself in the face and in the light for people to see. But what I want y'all to know is we need from you, the best alliance we can receive from you is addressing your community.
That's right.
Have those hard conversations with Thanksgiving, because why the fuck are you celebrating that anyway? Have those hard conversations with your family members who you otherwise would avoid those family gatherings. That's where you should be. That's where you should be doing the work. I'm sick and tired of places coming, people coming and co-opting space and taking over space and then shadowing the real work that's been being done since day one, since before Patrick got killed, because we all knew this would happen.
Amen.
Right? We went to commission meetings and we told them over and over and over again that you're going to be next. If you don't make change, then you're going to be next. And then what happened? Patrick was killed. Sterling was killed. Riley Doggett was killed. Joseph Nagel was killed. Right? Weimer was killed. And they're going to keep on because now, with a bigger budget of what? Over $70 million annually, they are becoming more powerful. They want more cops on the streets. They're showing the public how we are the problem, how we are menaces, and they are going to be funded even more and even more. So please, if you want to make change, you have to start in your white souls. Because there's still, even all y'all out here, you still have so much work to do with yourself. The people I've organized right next to, myself included, because I am half white, right? I have colonized ancestors, and then I have my black ancestors, and they're fighting with each other constantly. So I know that if I have to do the work, y'all have to do the work. And you have to do it within yourselves and within your families, because that's how we're going to best be supported. Right? We have to break down those systems, break down family generational curses. You have to break that. Now, and when you guys think of the word justice, can you all think like this system, as we know it, can provide it? It can't. No, they're incapable. They're incapable of providing justice, because justice to them is throwing people in a cage. Justice to them is murdering them in the streets. Justice for them does not equal what justice is, at least for me. Right? I'm looking for accountability. How is Christopher Scher going to be held accountable for taking a life? Exactly. This system cannot do that. His family will not receive accountability because you can see with his legal representation, it's one thing after another. He ran. No, he didn't. He was walking around his car to get his license that you asked him to get, and you then aggressively grabbed his shoulder. And in any moment, anybody will feel under attack. And you, as a human, have a fight or flight response. And instead of fighting, he chose to flight. He chose to run. That is warranted. A man who barely spoke English was told and was doing as he was told, and then was aggressively met with violence by GRPD. An officer who's been known to stalk the streets with no headlights at night on the southeast side. I witnessed it myself. This man would stalk people. So they are out here, they're trained to harm us. They're trained to be on the southeast side, very deep, and stalk people. So there's nothing in this system that can be warranted as justice. We will never see justice. This is not justice. The system must be abolished so that we can start having accountability within our communities and that we can take care of one another. Real quick, I touched a little bit about, I've so far faced 3 felonies from Christopher Shore murdering Patrick Lyoya. The first time it was because an officer stumbled on the foot of another officer as I was approaching him after he grabbed my chest. The second time was because I used my bullhorn. My bullhorn supposedly burst his eardrum, so I am facing felony assault charges of a police officer.
Shame.
I have faced more court time than Patrick's murderer. He has been out living his life, and we out here who are fighting for justice for our people are facing harsh punishment. I'm facing up to 11 years because now it's a habitual because it's the 3rd one. So when I made my first little speech and I said how angry I am about people co-opting space and then overshadowing the people that are out here doing the real work, I say that because I'm living through it. I have people coming up. I've been here since George Floyd before then, daily. I have people coming up to me and saying, I don't even know who you are, but I am a wildly recognizable face. So for people to come up that are in such big organizations that are trying to put things in Grand Rapids and make a place for themselves here, get to know the grassroots organizers and the people who are living here doing the work and risking their lives right here in the city. Because my black, brown self is going to be persecuted much more than any one of y'all who are out here protesting and get citations. They're hitting us with felonies to keep us off the streets. So that's the main reason I say if y'all want to do the work, I need y'all to start there so that when y'all raising little boys and they grow up to be police officers, God forbid they're even still around, but they are conditioned to understand that we are human. We're not black, brown, white people. We are human beings that deserve basic respect and not to be executed in the street like Patrick Lyoya was.
All right, thanks, Kai. Check out ACAB's social media for what you can do for Kai. I'd like to invite up Robert Womack, Commissioner Robert Womack, the 17th District. He'd like to say some words on Patrick. Robert's also faced threats, criticism from all corners for his support for Patrick. So, Robert, we'd like to hear from you.
Thank you. Let's give it up to Kyle once more, and let's stay in contact with her with Kai's court case coming up. That's a shame that she is facing 12 years for her voice. 12 years for her voice on one of the most traumatic incidents that ever happened in the history of Grand Rapids between GRPD and our community. So let's give it up to her once again for standing up. And we should be donating to a defense fund. We should be finding out when her court date is and showing up for that. This is a very serious day for me. Tomorrow we have the Christopher Shore Patrick Lyoya case started. And I don't want to go into politics, but politics is coming to us. Tomorrow, Jim DeSanta is going to Calder Plaza to announce House Bill 4404. How many people know what that House bill is? All right, so I guess I'm going to be letting 90%, 95% of you know what House Bill 4404 is in the State House. And he wants to introduce it here and tie it to this case. He's called support gathering for Christopher Shore at Calder Plaza, where he wants to introduce House Bill 4404. It's undeniable self-defense law that gives qualified immunity to all police officers, meaning if they kill you, it's automatically self-defense.
Shame.
And he wants to come to Grand Rapids, Michigan tomorrow at 8:30 and announce it. We need to be here to let Jim DeSantis know, take that back to Monroe County. Take that back to Monroe County. I can't hear you.
Take that back to Monroe County.
Take that back to Monroe County.
Take that back.
Take it back.
To Monroe County.
That's a slap in the face of every citizen of Grand Rapids, Michigan. No matter what side you take on this case, making Grand Rapids the poster child for police all over the state of Michigan for every future officer involved shooting. Prosecutors wouldn't even have to look over it and make a judgment. So as they said, community policing, that's already supposed to be in effect. The community voted in the elected officials, but they're here today because those officials are not standing up. They're not taking a stand. They're not bringing their voices out. Not only not bringing it out for justice, they're not bringing it out for due process. The Leoya family deserves due process. They deserve to sit in the courtroom and find out what happened to Patrick Leoya. The lawyer has the nerve to say the Leoya families are trying to influence the jury. In the media, he has the nerve to say that. Let's go back. Patrick Leoya is shot in the back of his head. All of us know it's hard to prove self-defense when you shoot a person from the back. Don't listen to your lawyers and don't listen to the public right now. Listen to me. If you shoot somebody in the back and you're not wearing a blue uniform, you're going to prison. There's a lot of people watching this, hearing this rhetoric they're bringing out, that will truly believe that if they fear for their life and they're chasing somebody who doesn't have a weapon, they can shoot them in the back. So I'm here to save some of those fools. You do it, you won't get this same treatment. Before I get into some of the comments that I think the Leoya family would want to share with you, I had to tell you about Jim DeSantis, State Representative Jim DeSantis, coming to announce that bill. As they say, community policing, we say if you voted us in, that should be the community. But like I said, the majority of people we vote for won't stand up for even due process. Classic example. Hate to bring this up, but because Jim DeSantis, State Representative Jim DeSantis, is coming basically from Monroe via Lansing, the Michigan State House is where he's going to introduce it. How many of our State House reps warned us that he's coming tomorrow?
Not a damn one.
How many said meet us down here and support us as we shut down him and House Bill 4404?
How many are here today?
A week ago, my community had big hopes that they were going to have a voice at the state. State Representative Christian Grant came out and she said, keep your eye on the officer on the stand in the Patrick Leoya case. She said the Grand Rapids Police Department was doing some vile SHIT. But as he said, I'm going through a lot of persecution. I've been threatened for people to say, you'll never win another election. And I said, you ain't God. And God and the people came through, and I am back as Kent County Commissioner of the 17th District because of you. So the State Representative Grant, who is a colleague, I'm sure she doesn't agree with Jim DeSantis. I'm not going to sit here and lie. I don't think she agrees with Jim DeSantis at all, but when we are on the same boards, we are colleagues, no matter what party we are. So her colleague says he's gonna bring House Bill 4404. She makes a statement, keep your eye on the man on the stand. She said, if Grampus police is doing dumb, S-H-I-T, Commissioner State Rep Gramp said they're doing vile. And 48 hours before the Patrick Lyoya case, she comes out and apologizes to GRPD. Apologizes, and I quote, these were not my personal perspective. I was only voicing the opinion of my constituents. The only reason I did it and was propelled to do it is because my voters and constituents were having such a dangerous conversation. Conversation is never dangerous when it's calling people to be accountable. Right. And I'm not here to shame some of my fellow Democrats. I'm just here to tell you, when you see an apology like that, also was mentioned that'll be her last post on the issue, which means we don't have a voice at the State House on this issue. But they got Jim DeSantis bringing the 4404. I'm going to get to the Lyoyas, but I will tell you, don't leave me out here by myself. I'm definitely not here because y'all here. But I want to tell you, politically, you need to write to some of the people that you're voting for. I don't like it when people come to me and say, well, Robert, you got to get on this. Why? Because I'm a black commissioner? Why? Because it happened in my district? But my district is also not only the 17th district, it's the 3rd ward, it's the 82nd district, it's the 3rd congressional district. Everybody that you are voting for has to step in. I want to give it up for Grand Rapids Alliance once again, because they are right. Some form of community policing needs to take place. And I know some of y'all see some of these politicians running around, dressed all nice, talking all slick. You voted for them, and then when I call them out to accountability, you know, I grew up at GRTV with my man Jess Smith. Let's give it up for Jess Smith, who holds all of the accountability. That grid holds a lot of us accountable. Jeff even have to get on me sometimes, but I take constructive criticism as a way to grow. We need the people. We need the people to stay on us. So I'm just telling you, it's very important that you not just vote for people and sit back here and give us a clean path or be afraid to hurt our feelings. If you're afraid to hurt our feelings, this is what happens. Like Kai said, they went down to the city commission. They asked for change. They asked for policies. I went with them to the city commission. I marched with them on the George Floyd. The policies didn't come fast enough. Now Patrick Lyoya is dead. Policies statewide didn't come fast enough. Now we have Samuel Sterling is dead. We have Joey Nagle dead. We have Riley Doggett that's dead. And we're living somewhere where Kai may end up in jail, but we have 4 police officers who are involved in the death of young people under the age of 30. And they're gonna have a great Thanksgiving if none of them are in jail.
Shame.
And all of your children are still gonna be in danger. The Patrick Lyoya family, they want justice, and I would say this for elected officials. If you're gonna speak for the voters, then say that when you first come out, my voters say. Don't come out rah, rah, rah. They wanted me to apologize. They told me if I apologized and said Patrick before they took all of their endorsements. More elected officials endorsed against me than any candidate in the history of Grand Rapids just because I said there should be a trial. Before they did that, they said, Robert, now you know you got all the endorsements. You've been doing this longer than anybody in your community, but they're looking for somebody to run against you. I want to stick with you. I'm not going to say who said it in City Hall. I want to stick with you. But we need you to go out and say, I re-looked at the video. Patrick Lyoya should have stayed in the car. He'd still be alive. No, that ain't going to happen. You see, today, I'm wearing these boots. Because I'd rather die with my boots on standing up than live on my knees on the ground. We're not playing with the Patrick Lyoya situation. I lost that endorsement. In my Kent County race, I spent like $12, $15 to one. But it's like, no, the truth will set you free. That's what I believe. The Lyoya family, one of the reasons they're not here, and they're gonna miss some of the trial, and I'm gonna be real. Peter and the family still gotta pay rent. They still gotta buy gas. So they feel the mother and the father, they have to make it to work so many days of the week so they won't get kicked out of where they live. So somewhere we're gonna have to find a way to help compensate that family while they're going through this trial so they can be here because they don't want to miss a beat. I was in the jury trial with them, and there were days they had to leave early because they had to get back home and get to work. When I met the Lyoya family, I knew some people don't know why I got involved. They ask for your motives. Oh, did you get involved because you won't be on TV? I already been on TV. For every politician know you get on TV against the police. It's like the Godfather movie. Nobody's trying to do that. When I went to help them, it's because people in my district, my voters, they told me, but when I do something for my voters, if I do it, I'm not gonna come out. It was their fault. It's my choice. I'm gonna tell you, y'all might say tomorrow, y'all wanna put black people in slavery and y'all voted for me. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. If you bring something to me and I don't think what you're bringing to me is right, me and you're gonna have a meeting and I'm gonna try to show you why there's a different route, a safer route, a more rational route. But if I step out on it, I'm standing on it. So when I got it, thank you. Yeah, that was the Lyoyas, and I was listening to the interpreter going back and forth between me and Peter, and we met with the chief. I understood they did not understand the American justice system. I first took them to a local lawyer. This local lawyer, I give him big ups. He's taken many local cases for us. He's done many lawsuits. He's found criminal attorneys to stand up for people that didn't have the money. He's a great local lawyer. But when I took them to him and we were talking about the police, for the first time I saw his backbone was weak. This lawyer been my friend for 30 years. I thought I'd lose his friendship. I told the Lyoyas, he too weak. I told my friend of 30 years, my local lawyer, you too weak for this. You're scared. No, I'm just saying we should do it quiet. I'm saying we should do it this way. I'm saying we should call some behind the stage meeting. This the police union. Robert, your career be in jeopardy. I ain't doing this for me. I'm doing it for you. You're my friend. I said, if you're thinking about me and not thinking about this video of this boy getting shot in the back of his head, you're thinking about the wrong thing. Right? If you think about my career, your career, and how we look to the city of Grand Rapids, you think about the wrong thing. So I got on the phone, and I called everybody I knew, and I called Ben Crump office, and I called some of my friends in New York, like, we got to get Ben Crump. Let's give it up for Ben Crump, because I was able to make that connection. Outside of the civil suit, which I have very little concern at all, Ben Crump was able to help me bring this to international attention and put this trial and investigation in the international light where everybody was watching what's going on and making sure this was a fair investigation. So let's give it up to him for that. After going through some of the justice system, the civil, I took them, it was time to bury Patrick Lyoya. They weren't getting calls back. The police department tried to explain to them where the son was, why they had to hold him, and they didn't understand it. And so I was causing more pressure. So then I had to call, being the Kent County commissioner, I called the Kent County coroner and got the exact timeline that they would get Patrick back. They felt better. Then they asked me, this is our first son to die in America. We don't know how to do a funeral. You got to set up the whole funeral. I set up the funeral. Now, how you going to tell people from another country how much a funeral costs in America? Any of you have gone through it know some of them numbers don't make no sense. So we had to raise the money for the funeral. We had to get the body to the funeral department. We had to find a place. This is the real work that we have to do on our way for justice. The more, as important as justice is to let that family know. There's a lot of immigrants that came to America and immediately got, you are an American because you want to be. We got to embrace some of these immigrants of color and let them know you want to come to America, you got your citizen, you are an American, and we love you and we will stand by you. Peter is looking for justice for his son. Peter says to him, justice for his son will be seeing the person who shot his son go to jail. That is what justice is for the Lyoya family. Let's give it up for them as they go through. I'm about to shut it down, and I know I went over about 5 minutes, but I hope it's brought you to some action. 1, support that family any way we can. 2, making sure some of you come back to stand up against House Bill 4044. 3, that you will engage everybody that you voted for to have some backbone. To just get elected don't make you a leader. Every leader gonna have a test. Are you gonna pass the test? Justice for Patrick!
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 Justice for Samuel!
Justice for Samuel!
Justice for Riley!
Justice for Riley!
Justice for Brayway!
Justice for Bailey!
Come on, Freeway might go a little better with, but you know we're talking about time. Justice for Patrick!
Justice for Patrick!
I'd like to invite one more person up, and then we're gonna do a march after this. So I'll have everyone kind of line that corner over there. But I'd like to invite Nathan Dannison up from Fountain Street Church. Fountain Street Church has been a hub for organizing. They are just great. They let us use their space for free. And Nathan is a wonderful person, and we are so grateful for him. So here you go.
I just want to say really quickly 2 things about power. And you brought up the church, but I also want to say that I know that there are some Christians who are here right now, and I want to strongly encourage you, if you are a part of a Christian community, to ask your clergy person, ask your pastor if they're talking about this. If they're not talking about this, why they're not talking about this. Because 1 week ago, we told a story about an indigenous Palestinian man that was nailed to the cross by the local cops where he lives. I don't understand why it's so hard for them to talk about that. You can probably just ask them why. There's power in there, and a lot of the power that's in there is the same as the power that's over there. It's because they don't think that you're paying attention. Every year, the city of Grand Rapids receives $435 million in taxes. That's the city of Grand Rapids. Do not let them confuse you about state dollars and federal dollars. I'm talking about city revenue. More than $35 million. 35% of that goes to the GRPD. 35% of that goes to the GRPD. They have 300 uniformed officers. That's $500,000 per cop per year in this city. $500,000. And the police in our poorest neighborhoods are an occupying army, and they are very well armed. And that is a tremendous amount of power that you are up against. But you have power out here. Fountain Street Church, we have a lot of events, but we also see your organizers. We see your organizers in there every hour of every day, working their tails off. Please take care of your organizers. Find your organizers. Invest in mutual aid and make sure that your organizers are healthy and taken care of, because we need them. Our community organizers are critical to this fight. There's power out here. So you can say to them in there, repeat after me if you want to, we see you.
We see you.
We're watching.
We're watching.
And we won't blink.
And we won't blink.
Justice for Patrick. I'm with you in this march. I can't wait to see what this community is able to do. I think that this is finally going to begin to shed some light on something that's been happening for way too long in this city. Thank you.
Hey y'all, I'm Attica Scott, former Kentucky State Representative, and you're joining me today on State Election Night.
We will continue to provide updates as we have more information.